And you made the switch to Coventry, linking up with Joe Potter for the first time. What was that sort of experience like for you?
That was dramatic, that season. It was very dramatic. The project itself at Coventry United, it was their first season professional. Basically had a brand new team, really. And we didn't get off to the best of starts. We took a little bit of time to gel as a group. There were so many new players, and we kind of took a little bit of time just to get used to how each other play. And the Championship's a really tough league. You can play top of league, bottom of league, and each game is just as big of a fight. So we had a real struggle, and then as we started to kind of pick up our performances, our chairman took us into administration. I think it was a couple of days before Christmas. He said, you know, your contracts are done, club no longer exists. We're going into voluntary administration, which was probably one of the lowest points of my career, you know, as captain of the football club as well. And you're trying to protect the players, you're trying to drive the club on, and for that to kind of be, you know, swept from underneath you was something that I've never experienced before and something I didn't expect to happen. A crazy time, very stressful time, and then out of the blue, probably an hour before all the legal stuff was about to go through, about 2 weeks later, somebody came and saved the club. Wanted to, you know, push the club on and bring all the players back in and continue in the league, but the downfall of that was the previous owner had already put us into administration, so the FA had given us a 10-point deduction. So we're sat on -7 points, and from that moment we kind of came back from Christmas a little bit like ghosts. The experience had kind of took it all out of us a little bit, but after a couple of weeks of being in, we got together as a group and, you know, said to each other, are we going to do this or not? If you're not, get out the room. If you are, let's go and do it. So we had that conversation, and from that moment we didn't lose a game of football in the league, and went down to the last game of the season, and it was against Watford. If we won, they went down. If they won, we went down. And it was 0-0 all the way right to the 97th minute, and Molly Green, one of the girls that used to play with us, scored a free kick from, I want to say, middle of the half. Honestly, from going from one of the worst moments of my career, it went to one of the best moments of my career. I think I actually weed myself in that moment. No word of a lie. That was from going from the lowest of the low to just achieving something that everybody thought was unimaginable was one of the best moments of my career. I wish someone had done a documentary on it, because even the everyday of what we were doing and how we were trying to get there, and it wasn't pretty at times. It was some games we just had to know that we were going to be defending for our lives and try and get on a break, and then once you go 1-0 up, you've got to defend for your lives again, and it was tiring on the whole, but the closer that we got to achieving what we wanted to achieve, you could just feel it in us that we knew it was going to happen, even when it was, you know, the 97th minute and it's still 0-0. Just something like that to happen was just unbelievable. And you know, when Jay was here, we'd speak about it all the time. With Joe, we'd speak about it all the time. And we actually named it The Great Escape, but we named it The Great Escape from the first game that we came back in at Christmas, and we knew that that was exactly what we wanted to do. So you can imagine the night out after that game as well. Yeah, unbelievable. Southampton it had so much potential. We had such a good group of players. The city itself and the fans, it really felt like home. We had a really strong squad, but we couldn't quite put together the work that we were doing on the training pitch into game situations. So I'd say that, you know, as a whole, the club underachieved at Southampton, but I think in the end, you know, you can have a good group of players, you know, some good staff in there, but ultimately the environment's got to be the best for the player and the person. And I think in the end that's where my decision to leave the club came from. When I was at Southampton, I felt like I needed that new challenge. I think, you know, when Joe had come up to Rangers, for me to have that level of knowledge and detail in the game as a coach is always going to be a massive pull for players. But, you know, I've spent a lot of time in the women's game really trying to push to, you know, win things with teams, and whether that be promotion or gaining a spot in the WSL. But I seem to only have, you know, when I look back, it's personal accolades that I've picked up. And for me, what I've always tried to do is have success with a team. And, you know, if I pick personal accolades up on the way, then happy days. But for me, I want team achievements. And with Rangers, I think that's the expectation. And for me, I want that pressure of, you know, the team is expected to win. You've got 3 opportunities to win a cup, and it's down to you guys as players and the management to go and do that. And for me, that was a challenge that I felt was the right thing for me. I was excited. Like I said, you know exactly where the club are at, you know exactly what they want. And the same for Jo and Jay when she was in. They're so direct of what they want out of you. And that's how I am as a person, you know. I know exactly what we've got to do to achieve it, and I was just excited to kind of be involved in such a big club. Each week comes with a different challenge, and I think that's what I like about it. We're still on track to kind of get the 3 cups that we want to get, but the focus has to stay on us, and I think that's what we as a team enjoy so much, is every time we get back into training we're focusing on exactly what we want to focus on as individuals and as a team. And I think it sets us up in the best position to try and get 3 points or a win on the Sunday. And yeah, just keep striving for a bit of success for the club. When I'm given opportunities, I'll do everything I can to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think, you know, we create a lot of chances for us as a group. So for me, I do expect to score as many goals probably as I have done. Maybe I've gone higher than other people expected me to, but I know that, you know, I've got to keep pushing every single game to put in the ball in the back of the net and have that ruthlessness about us to win games of football. And that's my mentality, you know, with my individual performance and for the team, because I feel like we have to be like that. If you want to win leagues, you want to win cups, you've got to be ruthless.
You're involved in football in another way as well, director of football at a club down south. Just talk to us a bit about that. How did that sort of come about?
Yeah, so when I was back home, I was introduced to a local businessman who wanted to create a football club. You know, the village it wasn't somewhere that people could play football. There wasn't many facilities. If you wanted to play for a team, you had to kind of drive 20 minutes out. We just kind of had a few meetings about it. I was really keen about, you know, giving boys and girls opportunities to play football. And we launched a football club called AFC Fradley. Fradley is the village that I grew up in, and it's kind of just gone absolutely crazy, to be honest. You can't believe how many boys and girls want to play football in that area, really. We've got probably, I'd say, around 40 teams at the minute. From under 7s all the way through to women's and men's first teams. We've got a disability football team, and we work super hard on trying to improve and grow the girls' pathway to really push and help girls have the opportunity to play football, which is something I feel quite strongly about. So that does keep me busy, but we've got a great team of volunteers and people that really spend a lot of time making it the best it can be, and the opportunities for that club is endless to me. We've just got a little bit of land as well, which we want to try and build some pitches and give even more people the opportunity to play. But yeah, it's just going strength to strength at the moment. When I go home, I will try and do a little bit as much as I can, as well as trying to rest up. But it's probably a lot of delegating and a lot of advice and organising the structure and the coaches. But like I say, we've got a really great team of volunteers that take a lot on board and do a lot for the football club as well, and without them we'd not be able to do what we're doing. So, and I think that's the beauty of the community and being a part of a grassroots football club is people just want to help, people want to see, you know, young girls, young boys playing football, and we're lucky enough to have a great group of people to help us do that.
And you're an owner of a cafe, coffee shop as well. How did that sort of come about? What made you go down that route?
I think I was crazy when I took that on, but it's become my little baby over time. I've probably had it about 8 or 9 years now. I don't know how I managed to do that and why I did it. I still couldn't probably answer that question for you, but it's become almost like a second home to me as well. Again, it's in Fradley Village, which is where the football club is and where I grew up, so it all kind of moulds together a little bit. And yeah, that keeps me busy a little bit at times. It's good to go back and visit them as well when I get the chance to go home and just make sure everything's good and check in with the customers who have all been checking up on the results and the score lines all the time, which is again really nice. And it's just about being a part of the community, and I think it all links together, you know, just to be a part of that and help people. The coffee shop is definitely my little baby, and I spent a lot of time growing it. I took it from quite a bad place to kind of keep it afloat and then really push it on a little bit. So yeah, spent a lot of time and hard graft on that, especially during COVID as well, which was a really hard period. But we're still going strong, and yeah, it's good coffee as well. If anyone wants a good coffee, cafe number 8. The village that I grew up in as well, having a football club in there, a cafe where, you know, everybody is a part of everything almost, and you know, I have young boys, young girls walking past the coffee shop shouting in about, you know, results that we've had or about the football club, and you know, it's an amazing feeling to be able to help people and give people the opportunity to do what they love doing. And you know, the link between the cafe and the football club for me is massive, because it's such a social, both are two social things that can link in together really well and help get involved different people, different boys, different girls, whatever that may be. So for me, yeah, it gives me a nice feeling, a nice fuzzy feeling. Every game is tough, but we've got some tough games coming up that give us different challenges, but you know, we want to take it one game at a time. I think that's important. For us, we're still in contention for, like you say, the league, the 2 cups, and we want to do everything in our power to have all 3 trophies sat on our shelf by the end of the season. So we are super excited, but we're super focused and just want to work really hard to try and make sure that happens.